What's going on, guys? I am Toxic Jordan. Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be taking down the 7th anniversary stage of the 8th anniversary battle here. So as per usual, the idea is to use the anniversary units against themselves. If you'll notice here, we actually only have the LR Super Saiyan 4s. We do not have the LR Gods on this team. We have a separate team that we're going to be running on the second attempt here. That will be an LR Gods team. Because you do actually have to clear this stage twice. If we go in here and take a look at the missions, and there are two separate routes, two separate fights that you're going to be able to take on here. So the left route and the right route. So we inherently have to do 2 clears, and then on top of that, we've got a special condition for using a team with a unit of every typing, and then another special condition to clear it within 7 turns. So hopefully between the 2 runs that we do here, we'll be able to get all of those missions done. That is the idea. So for this first team, we don't actually have a unit of every type. We are saving that for the second run, where we will take care of that. So the idea here with this one is just going to be able to clear it in 7 turns. So that in mind, there is no mission to clear it without items. So we are actually bringing a Whis. I'll try and do it itemless if possible, but if it's looking like pretty annoying and I might as well use the Whis, then I'm probably just going to do it. I don't see any reason why not. Okay, so as we have been expressing very, cannibalistic qualities here, we're going to make the LR Super Saiyan 4s fight themselves. So we'll go ahead and go to this left path. That has kind of been the idea this entire time, right? Making the anniversary units fight themselves to the death. Okay, so I guess there's really only one answer for this rotation, right? It's a little bit unfortunate that the Piccolos are split up, but it looks like if we just rotate off Orange Piccolo from the other rotation, then we should be fine. We'll see though, because it's probably pretty advantageous for us to put one of these guys in the 3rd slot. So yeah, I think we'll just keep it like this for now. Okay, we can get the 18 key super there at least. It's going to be really important for the LR Super Saiyan 4s to be able to build up here a bit as well. There we go, double 18 key supers, not bad, not bad. They are kind of a unit that I intended to float. I definitely wanted to have like a Piccolo rotation as a main rotation, and then obviously the 5th anniversary Blue Fusions would be a really nice rotation as well. Though they're not going to work out so amazingly, at least until turn 4 when they're able to get their transformation. From that point on, then they can both definitely be, a main rotation. So we'll see how that works. We do also have the 8th anniversary GT boys here, just as another solid option for a slot 1 character if we did want to run them with one of the 7th anniversary LRs as a rotation. That is potentially something we could do. So yeah, we have a few options here for sure. It's just going to depend on the typing of the stages, and also just kind of depended on the RNG for how our initial rotations dropped, right? So far so good. We had a pretty powerful first turn here. It was lucky that we had all the type advantage that we did. Even through that super attack, we didn't take much damage, so that's definitely good. I'm not sure exactly how many phases there are of this fight. I want to assume it's 3. But I could be wrong. Been wrong before. I'd like to put Gogeta at the end there just because the Vegito has type disadvantage, so he's probably going to take more damage there if he ends up not dodging. And I'm okay with him just taking the 1 attack in the middle for sure. So we'll do this, and the orbs are a little bit ugly, but I guess we can just go ahead and give Gogeta these. Actually, I kind of want to just give him the 1. That way we can get all those physicals to drop. Yeah, so we can get a better selection on the next rotation. That will be very, very good. We don't have any orb changers on this team, which is actually one thing that would make this team much stronger, right? With all of these LRs that are very, very key dependent. Having an orb changer would definitely help out. But unfortunately, we do not have that. Okay, so with the 7-turn clear in mind, this is looking a little bit bad already. I feel like ideally you would want to be able to, assuming that there is 3 phases of this fight, right? Then I feel like ideally you would want to finish off the first phase in 2 turns, and the second phase in 2 turns, and then the final phase in 3. But, you know, this team is a team that ramps up. Everybody's going to be getting higher and higher attack stats as they transform, as they build, you know, stats from their passive, build stats from stacking on super. There's all kinds of those abilities going on with these units on the team. So, wow, very good turn for Gogeta. He dodged all of that. Lovely stuff to see. Okay, so yeah, I think I am just going to rotate Piccolo onto the other rotation, and then we'll keep the GT duos here together. That probably makes the most sense, just overall damage-wise and, like, protection-wise, right? Just for being able to tank stuff in slot 1. Okay, so they have 290k defense, so they've got more defense than the 8th Anniversary GT duo. And the 8th Anniversary card, as this is their first turn, they have not built up any damage reduction yet. So we'll go ahead and put the physical unit in slot 1 here. Higher defense, type advantage. They're definitely just going to perform better here on this turn. Okay, that'll do. And then, unfortunately, not enough key for Piccolo to get a super, but hopefully we will finish this guy off before then. That is the main hope right now. Okay, so we're getting supered. That has been the most confusing part about using all these anniversary units against themselves. It's super hard to tell when I'm attacking or when I'm being attacked, unless I'm paying very, very close attention. So, they definitely still did decent there. I am not complaining about the amount of damage that we are taking by any means. Okay, so hopefully we do not critical hit here. I would actually like the enemy to survive this attack if possible. Oh. Okay, the only reason that really sucks is because now the 8th Anniversary GT unit has not built up a single stack, right? Okay, here we are already on turn 4, so we've got our transformation coming in from Blue Vegito. Very nice stuff. So we have a turn of guaranteed dodge here for him. So we're definitely going to put him in the first slot. Actually, no, I think I'm going to put Piccolo in the first slot because I trust Piccolo to tank decently as well. And then if I give him all these orbs, we're going to get a lot of healing back. Perfect. Yeah, and then we have guaranteed dodge for the second slot here, so the only place we would really need to worry about anything is in that final slot. Now, I don't know if it's a good idea for me to transform these guys. As they are going to be a floater, they're not really going to be able to build up that many stats anyway, but they are infinite stacking until you transform them. So I feel like it might be worthwhile for me to leave them untransformed for at least one more phase here. We're not depending on their active skill or anything yet, so I'm in no rush to get them transformed at the moment. I think it's probably smartest to leave them untransformed for the moment. Okay, I guess we'll grab all these red orbs, because we can at least get the 18 key super off with them that way. Okay, perfect. No slot 0 super. That is definitely what I wanted to see. And now we get a big, hefty attack stat coming from Piccolo. This should be a pretty fine turn in terms of damage. We do have type advantage with Piccolo here. It is weird that we had 3 charges only. I noticed that they're at 0 charges right now, so I wonder what that's going to mean for, like, the next phase. Does this just make them transform? I'm honestly not sure how this works, specifically. But we are on turn 4 out of the total 7 that we get. Yeah, it seems like this is one of those, like, heavy damage reduction phases that you're not necessarily meant to do too much damage to. And then once the charges deplete, he's gonna change typing, and then he'll be easier to damage, I assume is what's gonna happen. Kind of cheeky for them to throw a phase like this into a fight that has such a hefty, like, turn restriction. But I guess it is what it is. We just got to keep building up our units and hope for the best. Okay, yeah, that's really bad. But they'll be a little better once they're transformed, and with the extra, defensive buffs they just got from the few attacks they did, they'll definitely be better overall. I think that was the right choice. That being said, we are looking pretty low on HP. Okay, so the charges reset. I wonder if it's just, I wonder if the charges resetting like that is literally just a means of saying that, like, they lost a bunch of damage reduction that they had on that first turn. I'm really not sure. Okay, so first order of business here. I do want to transform I think we want to transform with the LR Super Saiyan 4s here. I think that makes the most sense at the moment. Yeah, we probably should. So let's go ahead and transform with them. Okay, now they can use their active skill, which is going to accomplish a couple things. You know, it's going to attack disable them, which actually I don't think is going to matter too much, because I think the best possible thing to do is to put Blue Gogeta in the first slot here, so that he gets, you know, guaranteed dodges. But we should definitely do this standby mode as well. So, in fact, I should do the standby mode first. The reason for that is because once we put them in standby, they're going to be giving a massive ki buff and a massive attack buff to the entire rotation. So when we launch that other active skill, it's going to hit a lot harder with the, you know, buff stats from this guy. And then we'll go ahead and keep them in slot 3. That way we can try and do as much damage on this turn as possible before they inevitably get hit and, you know, and ultimately KO'd for us to launch that Spirit Bomb, which is definitely going to happen, right? Because look how low our HP is. Okay, so let's go ahead and launch this active skill. There we go. Lots of damage. You love to see that. Okay, and then now we get a free turn with Gogeta. Whatever damage he puts out is going to be guaranteed, basically, because he is, you know, he's got the 100% chance to dodge here on this turn. Okay, so hopefully if all things go well with that second slot, then we'll see all 3 of our units attack on this rotation. That would be the most ideal way for this to go down. And then obviously Gogeta is attacks effective against all types, so we don't really need to worry about the fact that he has type disadvantage here. He's still going to be putting out a lot of damage for us. Let's see how many additional supers we can get. Come on, another super, please, please. Okay, well, that's a bit unfortunate. I mean, I guess we know that we're not going to have to take a super right here because it was just dodged. I would have liked to see Gogeta put out a little bit more damage, though. Lucky that we have guaranteed crits here with the LR Super Saiyan 4s because it's their active skill turn. But again, only one super attack and then just the normal. That definitely could have gone better. So now I guess we're going to have to see if... Wow, they did no damage there. I guess we'll see how hard the Spirit Bomb hits. I'm really hoping that it KOs them, but I feel like we needed to get a little bit better RNG with that turn for that to be the case. I honestly don't feel like we're going to take out 3 bars of health here, because the amount of damage that the Spirit Bomb does is really heavily dependent on how many attack stacks you've gotten for this guy, and we only have them on rotation like once, so they really don't have... you know, any stacked attack at all. So this is probably going to hit like a fart, but we'll see. I guess the other question is if we still have another phase of this fight to get through. I assume that we do. Yeah, that did absolutely nothing. Wow, that really sucks. Okay, so we get all of our HP back because of the revive, so that's really convenient. And then I guess it's turn 6. So as far as the mission is concerned, turn 7 is literally the last turn of the fight. I don't know if... I mean, if there is another phase to this fight, we probably just aren't going to get the turn clear, right? So let's go ahead and launch our active skill here, because if we're not getting the turn clear anyway, you know, basically, like, by the time these guys come back around onto rotation, we will have already been past... turn 6, right? Or turn 7, where the mission kind of ends. Okay, so we launched that active skill. The other thing to consider here is that Orange Piccolo pauses our turn counter. So let's go ahead and launch our Orange Piccolo transformation right now. And then we can just go nuts with him for a little bit. And hopefully that will, you know, that will help us out as far as the turn mission goes. I guess the question is if we finish off this enemy, I'm pretty sure we automatically defuse from Piccolo. We don't get to stay in Orange Piccolo onto the next phase of the fight, even if we end up finishing them off here in one turn, which I guess is a little bit unfortunate. But we'll see. That really would be the coolest thing. If we could go on to the next phase of the fight and continue the Orange Piccolo transformation, then we would be in business, because we could get a hefty chunk of damage done from Orange Piccolo himself, and then whatever remaining damage we would just finish up on that final turn, right? Okay, so there is that. So it looks like there is a final phase here, which I'm not too surprised about. And then I guess we have exactly one turn here to take this guy out. So let's double check our links real quick. Obviously, we know that the links for the Piccolos work out pretty well. Let's see if we do get a couple extra links with Orange Piccolo linked up with the Blue Fusion here. So I'm thinking this is probably going to be the best way to do it. Okay, so think about this. We're still on turn 6. We actually just did something cheeky that I guess I didn't realize at first. Because we were on the final phase of that fight, if we had not used the Orange Piccolo transformation, we would have been forced to waste our turn 6 on the ending of that fight, and then it would have made it so that turn 7 would have been right now at the beginning of this fight, and we would have been on the other rotation, right? But because we used the Orange Piccolo, we were able to basically buy ourselves an extra turn. So we're going to go ahead and keep the rotations like this. I think this makes the most sense, just because the STR Piccolo doesn't link as well. So we've got the most links active on the turns to be able to do the most damage that we can. And also the STR Piccolo, who has type advantage here, is going to get an attack bonus after receiving his first hit for the turn. So that would be really, really good to see. Unfortunately, there's no way we're going to be able to give Orange Piccolo his 18 key, which is that really sucks, honestly. But there's not really much I can do about it. So, okay, well, now we just got to hope that we get a really heavily damaging turn here. That way, this final turn that we go into is basically just going to do it. So hopefully it'll be enough here to be able to fully finish this final phase off in 2 turns. Okay, that was really good. I love to see a critical hit here and there. It's always refreshing to see, especially because I don't really build my units with crit in mind. This could hurt. This could hurt. Are we dead here, though? Do we even survive this? It's Orange Piccolo. Why am I questioning myself? Of course we survived. I didn't really peep his defensive stat, but I imagine it's pretty high by now. Okay, we're going to need to see some better RNG from Blue Vegito here. There we go. Double super. Can we see a triple or quadruple? That's definitely going to help us out, right? I guess keep in mind that we do have Blue Gogeta on the next rotation too, and he has type advantage, and he's going to go absolutely nuts. We also have his active skill to be able to use. Yes, Vegito. Yes! That is what I'm talking about. Let's go. Oh my god. All right. I guess we're just going to keep attacking. Is that 5 supers? Was that a 5 super attack turn, and then he gets an additional normal on top of that? Oh, he's busted. He's busted. He's just insane. All right. Well, first thing we're going to go ahead and do. Man, that kind of sucks that we only have 2 links active. I guess it's just the way it worked out with not being able to put the blue fusions together, right? Well, the very first thing we're going to do is go ahead and launch the active skill, obviously. We're on the final turn of the fight. Oh, yeah, we got this in the bag. There's no way. The only way that we could potentially possibly lose right now is if we get super attacked in the first slot and we take too much damage from it and get KO'd. That's the only thing that could happen. That would, that would potentially kill us. Other than that, I'm pretty sure we're pretty free and clear for the 7-turn win here. So, let's see. We can get a lot of links active if we keep them untransformed. I think this is actually probably the smartest way to do it, because we know we have enough damage. We have enough damage on this rotation as is to be able to finish off this enemy. I'm not worried about that. The only reason we would want to transform them right now is to be able to take advantage of the active skill that we'd get, which would give us some free damage. But I think it's overall, just from a defensive standpoint, probably smarter to do it like this. So let's go ahead and keep them together. We're going to be able to get 3 rainbow orbs, which is a significant amount of damage reduction there. And they also have the countering chance that we will be banking on for sure. Okay, so then we've got that, and then we'll grab these for Blue Vegito, or Blue Gogeta, if he even gets to attack this turn, right? There's a solid possibility that we may just KO the enemy before that point, but we'll see what happens. Okay, so no super attacks so far. We got a 9.1 million attack stat. Do we critical hit? No. but we do get the guaranteed additional. If this isn't enough to finish him off, then definitely the next attack will be. So, I certainly... Okay, the critical hit finished it off for us. Perfect. There we go. So we got the 7-turn clear. No items used. Definitely good. So now we just have to run this back with the 7th anniversary, the other 7th anniversary LR. We have to take them down. So there you go. We got 2 of the missions done for clearing the left path and for clearing it within 7 turns. Now we are going to jump right back in. Ignore the 8th anniversary stage for now. We're going to jump right back into the 7th anniversary stage again. We're going to switch to... Oops, where are we at here? We are going to switch to our other 7th anniversary team. And then we're going to go ahead and jump right back in. Do I have a unit of every type here? AGL Tech, STR. Yeah, okay, cool. Just wanted to make sure we weren't going to mess that up, because that's the whole point of doing this run, right? We need to clear the right path, and we also need to clear this with a rainbow team. So we should be in business to do that here. It is always nice having a little less pressure as far as the amount of turns it's going to take us to clear the event, that we're not, like, required to hustle through it or anything. Especially because our rotations did not work out that well off the bat here. That is kind of treacherous. So we have Gamma 2 in the 7th slot, so we're definitely going to keep Gamma 1 on rotation so that he'll come around and then that rotation will be fixed. And then that's pretty much it. We should be in business beyond that. I guess the only reason I said it sucks is because I kind of want this guy to be a main rotation unit, so I'm going to have to rotate him off here to get him around onto the other rotation, unfortunately. Okay, so how do we want to do this? We actually need to select quite a few key spheres with Gamma 1, unfortunately. So we'll grab all those. And then I guess we just get these to get the 18 key, and 1 key shy. So we're not going to get the 6 key spheres here. We could actually be in a little bit of trouble, actually. Depending on what the later attacks in this turn look like. Yeah, as you can see, these events are no joke. Even Gamma 1 isn't double-digit tanking right off the bat. Granted, he has, like, no links active, so that definitely hurts him, too. And he's only on a 170 leader skill. He's not actually on the full 200% here, right? So those things do definitely hurt him a little bit, but hopefully on future turns he'll look a lot better, especially once we've got Gamma 2 around. Okay, and then it's very nice to be getting as many stacks as possible for the LR Gods. They've got this guard up for their first turn, and luckily have type advantage starting out here, but those things are swiftly going to go away, and they're going to be depending much more heavily on just their sheer defensive stat alone. So we want to make sure to get them as many super attacks as possible. Okay, so because we're facing off against a pure Saiyan enemy, we had the luxury to bring the Tech Godku here. He's going to have 70% damage reduction for this entire fight, so he is a very solid main rotation unit to have on. In fact, it's probably wiser for me to have him as my main rotation God Goku and rotate off the physical one, and just keep the Tech Gods with one of the LR Gods to allow them to stack up. That's honestly probably the best way to do it. Yeah. Yeah, I think that is final answer. That's how I'm going to be running this entire event. So even though Tech Godku is a nuker, and he does, get the extra 70% stats from having 2 Rainbow Key Spheres, I don't want to give him all those extra orbs, just because this team is very, very key hungry. There are a lot of units here that are going to need to be selecting a lot of orbs every turn, so I want to make sure that we have the orbs available for those units to be able to do that. That being said, we do have the Gammas as a main rotation, so we're going to be alleviated off of the orb selection for a little bit, because obviously they give them, when they're linked up together, they're both automatically at 12 key, and they're not LRs, so you don't need to worry about selecting any additional key on top of that. So basically the idea is going to be to use the Gamma rotation as a way to set up our orbs for the opposite rotation here, where we're going to have like the LR Gods or whoever, or then potentially whoever ends up in slot 3 on the Gamma's rotation may be someone that needs a lot of orbs as well, right? Okay, so far so good with this first rotation here. We haven't taken any like hefty amount of damage, so it looks like we're going to be able to go into the second phase here with a full health bar, which is nice. But yeah, we're just going to need to keep track of the LR Gods and all their stacking. Okay, how much do we take on this super attack here? The first one we have to deal with. Okay, that's not terrible. Obviously, you know, we're very lucky, again, to have the type advantage in the guard on this first rotation here. Otherwise, that would have been a lot worse. But that is definitely fine. We still have plenty of HP to work with. We're not in the danger zone. Not even close yet. Okay, perfect. Now, Gamma 1 has type advantage up front here, so he is going to be able to tank very well here, I'm thinking. Especially because he's already gotten a few of his damage reduction stacks activated. Okay, and then this is Gamma 2's first turn, but, you know, hopefully as long as we get decently lucky with the RNG for however many attacks he does, then he should be able to tank perfectly fine as well. Nice, and the super attack is coming out bright and early. Assuming that they don't have the ability to double super, that just means that we're safe for the rest of the turn, right? So there we go, double digit tanking it as Gamma 2 or as Gamma 1 should. And he is fully stacked at this point. He's gotten all the stacks from receiving all the hits that he needs, so he is essentially at his max power at this point, which is really, really good. And then we see Gamma 2 definitely not even close to his max power, right? He's going to have to do quite a few attacks to get there. While any additional normal attacks he gets are still providing him the additional, like, passive raises, because in his passive he just has to dish out attacks in general, whether they're normal or super, doesn't matter, to get his stats. But I would really like to see as many super attacks as possible. Awesome, because then we're also taking advantage of the one-turn defense raise here to make sure that he can, you know, tank whatever attacks are coming in at the moment. Okay, I will definitely take that. That is not bad. We haven't really done pretty much any damage on this rotation, but I think it's operating the same way that the previous fight did against the LR Super Saiyan 4s, where we have this, you know, the second phase starts out with that one turn of, you know, of them with, like, hefty damage reduction or something, it seems, and then it just switches to that not being a thing anymore, I guess. Okay, so the LR Gods there ended up taking a lot of damage at the end. That makes me very nervous about the LR Gods on this rotation. That being said, they only have to take one attack here, so that is pretty good. The other thing that's making me a little bit nervous is the orb selection for Physical Godku, because I want to make sure that he's going to be able to get a lot of orbs. It also would be nice if he was able to heal up quite a bit for us. But, you know, doing that, I would have to put him in the first slot. I don't know if it's the best idea to do here. Let's go ahead and risk it. I think just because of the healing that we'll end up getting from these orbs, and the fact that here we guarantee him to be able to select the 6 orbs for the turn that he's going to need, it's probably smart. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and leave the LR Gods untransformed for one more turn. They're only taking one attack here, so we'll give them one extra turn to be able to build up some defensive stats before we eventually change them. And then I guess we might as well just grab these 2 orbs for a little bit of extra healing. We're almost at 200k there. So we're just relying on dodges here for this first slot. And then I guess we'll just see what happens. There is a really solid chance we don't survive this turn, though. I definitely took some big risks here, so we'll see if they end up paying off. But that is kind of the means of these challenge stages. You definitely have to take risks. If you play too safe, sometimes even that can just come back to bite you. You really have to, you know, go balls to the wall here. And there we go. It looked like it paid off because we didn't end up taking a single note of damage from the Physical Godku there. He was dodging as we hoped. Okay, perfect. We get the double super here. Now here's praying that we can get the triple super just to get that little bit of extra help from their defense, because I don't imagine that they're going to be double-digit tanking even after all of these super attacks. Perfect. That is wonderful. So now they've gotten 3 more infinite defense raises, which means when we ultimately transform them on the next rotation, their stats are going to be looking a lot better. Oh, sweet. And it actually was enough for them to get to the point of double-digit tanking. So that's very, very comfortable. Good stuff to know. Oh, this is so beautiful. And now the one unit that's literally designed to tank these super attacks is taking the super. This is so perfect. So there we go. The risk that I put in place ended up paying off big time for me. That is lovely to see. Okay, so we'll grab all of these. Let's check our stats real quick. Yes, look at these defense numbers. I am loving this. We're about to get a decent amount of healing here on this turn. Okay, so we got all these STR orbs coming in for Gamma 1. And then we'll go ahead and just select the one green orb for Gamma 2 here, because we do want to keep in mind that the physical orbs are now really important since we decided to leave the physical Godku on rotation. I suppose that the tech orbs are as well, but the 3 physicals there is probably more worth than the 1 tech orb here. And unfortunately, God Goku here, while he is rocking 360k defense, and he will get some more defensive raises after Super, it's worth noting he's got no links active, and he has type disadvantage on this rotation. So this could be a little bit scary for sure. But the healing is going to definitely help us out. So hopefully he just does his job and dodges as we need him to. But we'll have to wait and see what happens. I guess it would also be nice if we just end up finishing off the enemy here before he has to take any attacks. But that's definitely going to be dependent on some critical hits and massive amounts of additionals, which we're already looking down on since Gamma 1 didn't really help us out much there with that. But let's see if Gamma 2's got what it takes to make something happen. He does have like a stacking amount of critical hit that builds up in his passive. So hopefully we can see a few of those proc. And I will take all of the additional supers that he wants to give us. Let's see if we can get one more. One more? Yeah, there we go. Good stuff, good stuff. So now, if we manage to get a really, really good RNG turn here with Godku, then we could be in business. He's got built-in crits in his passive as well, so that definitely could be good for us. Okay, 7.5 million attack stat. It's hard to tell with his animation if he's going to critical hit or not. No, he didn't. Okay, one more dodge? Yeah, there we go. Okay, no big deal. We ended up taking no damage on that rotation, basically at all. Okay, so now here's the question. Is it time to transform, or do we continue to let them stack? That is the real debacle that we are in at the moment. So I'm thinking what may be the best idea is to transform one of them just to optimize the amount of links we have active on the rotation here. That could be the best idea for us. I guess let's go ahead and do it. Yeah, if we go ahead and transform one of them, I think I'll be okay with that. The only problem is the way that the orbs are set up. We're not going to quite be able to select what we want. Whereas if we were to do this... okay, let's go ahead and transform them real quick and then just see what we're working with. They also do have their active skill because the enemy's below 50% HP, but I kind of would rather save the active skill for the final phase. I think that that's going to be a smarter idea, so I will wait on that for now. I don't know. I'm just contemplating, like, orb-wise, if it makes the most sense for me to do this. Because they're going to be at a full 24 key super. They might take a little bit of damage up front there. But then, you know, they do still have the 30% chance to dodge that we could depend on. And then here, we've got, now we're able to get the full 6 orbs for God Goku. And he's going to give us a nice little heal there on top of it. Yeah, and then this will be perfect because we'll be able to get lots of orbs for them to be able to get a 24 key super. Okay, so hopefully, I guess the only thing is if we get hit by a super in that first slot. Okay, then yeah, I think we're perfectly fine now. I don't think that there's any way we get KO'd on this rotation. We should be okay here. Nice, because they do get that attack disabling as well. So the attack that was going to be dished out at them after their super is now not going to be, right? And then I imagine slot 2 is going to KO the enemy. And if not, then I'm not too worried about his defensive capabilities. I'm thinking he'll be able to dodge everything for us anyway. Even if he were to get hit by a super attack, I don't think that we would necessarily be KO'd from that. So I think we should be okay. Honestly, I think overall it would be better if he doesn't KO here, just to allow the slot 3 unit to get another attack stack. Okay, well that's fine. Either way. So now we've freely move on to the final phase of the fight. Wow, how's this for a defensive rotation? This is nuts. Okay, so Gamma 1 doesn't have guard anymore. So I think what I'm going to actually do here is this. I think this makes the most sense because, yeah, so the entrance animations have run out for the Gammas, so they are a little bit weaker at this point. And considering the fact that Gamma 2 has type disadvantage and Gamma 1 lost guard, we're fully just depending on his damage reduction. So I think I want to do this. We're going to go ahead and put Godku in the first slot since he is going to tank all of that no matter what happens, right? Even if there's a super, he'll double-digit tank it. And then the Gammas are still going to do a hefty amount of damage here, hopefully, for us, before their rotation is ultimately split apart for the remainder of the fight. Who do we have coming up next? We've got Int God Goku, Physical God Goku, and then the LR Gods. So, yeah, I kind of want to be careful about the orb selection here. I guess we'll go for these, just because we want the Physical and Int orbs here for the next rotation. Okay, I'm really, really hoping that they do put out a super attack in the first slot. Though, I guess it's worth noting that Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 both have a nullification, right? They can nullify, what is it, Ki Blast Super and Unarmed Super, respectively. So, and this is a Ki Blast Super, I believe. So, okay, so the super attack was launched here, but I suppose it's worth noting that Gamma 1 also has the capability to nullify the super attack being launched here, which really does just mean that it's wise to rotate off Gamma 2, because he is extremely vulnerable in this stage. Type disadvantage, he can't nullify the super attack that would be launched here. Yeah, and being this late in the fight, he's just not as potent as he is in those first few turns, right? So again, oh, yeah, it's a good thing there was just the one attack there. I was going to say, we are really, really dependent. For every turn we're going to see Gamma 2, you know, on the rotation. We're really dependent on him to get the additional super attacks, specifically, so that he can get the one-turn defense raises. That is going to be really, really important. Okay, so here, we actually are getting the God Goku transformation. So this is going to do a little bit of damage and transform us into our Super Saiyan state. So let's go ahead and run that real quick, just for an extra little nudge of damage there. And then we have the LR Gods, and we have Int Godku. I guess it makes the most sense if we're just comparing, like, numbers to put Int Godku in the first slot, because he's got type advantage, and they have very, very comparable defense, and he also has a higher base chance to dodge attacks right now, right? The only thing is he's probably not going to be doing quite as much damage as the LR Gods, but it's obviously no big deal. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab all these Int orbs so we can get the healing. Healing through the ceiling, as we like to do. Okay, and then we'll grab all of these. The 3 rainbow orbs there is really clutch, because that gives us a nice boost to our chance to dodge on this rotation. And then we'll finish up with some more healing here with the Super Saiyan Goku at the end. So there we go. We've almost fully healed back to full health. That is perfect. And we've got an 11 million attack stat coming in. Wonderful stuff. I wonder if the enemy has the chance to dodge us. It would make sense, right? Okay, so unfortunately no additional super from Godku for the extra defensive stats, but he kind of doesn't need it at this point. I think we'll be okay no matter what. Okay, and then they get the attack disabling, which is nice. One less attack that we have to worry about tanking for the turn. And he didn't launch a super attack yet, so I suppose that could have been a super attack that we disabled. Maybe we'll know more in a minute here. Wow, and we just keep on attacking. This is absolutely wonderful. Is he even going to survive the turn? That is a huge question mark. We're doing so much damage here. Nice, and they dodged. His attack stat's looking a little bit low. Yeah, they'll probably survive the turn. It looks like we have about 1 turn left then. Which is good, because I think we've got another active skill that we can take advantage of here. Oh, okay, so it looks like we didn't nullify or attack disable this super, because here it is. And we are getting hit by it. How much do we take? Okay, that was a lot, but we're still alive. Just barely. Oh my goodness. Okay, so now is the time where we definitely want to transform them, because we've got the active skill that we're going to be able to launch here as well. So we will do this for some free damage and for guaranteed crits for the turn. We should be okay. Let's see. So I think I want to do... it's rough to decide. I guess we'll... Okay, so we'll grab all of these orbs with Godku. And then we can grab all of these orbs with the LR Gods. And that puts us over for our Dokkan attack, actually, funnily enough. And then, yeah, and then we'll just have Gamma grab these. So, yeah, we should be a shoo-in for the win. I don't think that there's any way we can... It's probably impossible to take enough damage to die before we KO him here. I imagine with a Dokkan attack, we're probably just going to finish him off with this one attack. But then, if not, obviously, Godku has what it takes to tank. So that the LR Gods could just go ahead and finish it up here. This, overall, the 7th anniversary stage was kind of painless. I will acknowledge that my team builds worked out really well for me, and that, you know, I did get pretty lucky at a few points there. I mean, especially with that giant super attack you just saw us take, right? If that had been like 15k more, we wouldn't have survived it. So, yeah, there were a few instances of getting pretty lucky, but overall that didn't seem too painful. I think that worked out pretty well. So there we go. That was all of the 7th anniversary missions done. We've got our beautiful, wonderful 7th anniversary equips. Oh, and I guess perks of having the extra mission with the you know, the left path and the right path is that we got 8 extra stones here. So that is definitely a perk, and I think it works the exact same way for the 8th anniversary stage, which we will be getting into in the next video. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to check out the Discord, link in description. That's going to do it for this one, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace!